I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. I lost 2 friends this week, all because we voted differently in this last election. And so with that being said, and really the sadness that accompanies really not knowing the persons that I lost, because if I really had truly known them and knew that my political affiliation or choice in my vote this election was going to end our friendship, there wouldn't have been a friendship to begin with. And that's the thing. What they don't realize is that my neighbors don't really care to champion a cause of anything when they're more worried about putting food on the table and paying the bills, sending their kids to school. My neighbors are worried about the safety of their children, their families, their wives. They're worried about our country continuing to be who we always were, pro-American and pro-everyone, but first pro-American. If I had known that I would lose my friends over a vote, they wouldn't have been my friends in the first place.
All right, some other kind of weird news coming out of the election. It was kind of tense, right? I played my part in that. I got a lot of friends that are Democrats that I grew up with and I've long since been. I've actually been a registered independent for 30 years. My very first campaign was Ross Perot. The very first person I voted for ever was Ross Perot in 1992, and I saw how dirty they did him. I was young in college. I was a business major. I was fascinated with entrepreneurship, and this guy kind of jumped in the scene and disrupted the process, and we were literally talking about this as I was in college. I'm going somewhere with that in a minute, but I saw how dirty they did him. Meanwhile, he was the one that was speaking to me. Right, he was a Southern Texas billionaire with a country accent that had made his money in the markets, and they did everything they could to kind of double team him and kick him out of the game. And I mean, they attacked his family. Go back if you're really interested in what's going on, how this game is played. Go back and look at Ross Perot's campaign from 1992, and it'll tell you everything you need to know about how the game is played. And I've seen it played every single cycle since then. But I would say the one thing is kind of, it's kind of weird, is that in several of my, let's say, antennas or lines of effort, a lot of friends are breaking up, like, or maybe they're just going through something. Let me tell you something right now. Ain't no motherfucking politician coming between me and my family, between me and no friends, or nothing. Now, if you feel some kind of way because of how I voted, meanwhile, I try to be the most expressive person in terms of why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I show you and I give you all the data to support why I'm doing what I'm doing, why this would be better for someone like myself, and how I'm better for the market because I'm a job creator and all that kind of stuff. But if you choose to feel some kind of way and you give me like a half a second of energy, okay, I'm good on that shit. I wouldn't do it, but I'm also not going to tolerate it. But here's the thing, you got to stop that shit, man. Right? And it's usually most of the people that have never had a political bone in their body. They haven't talked about anything in politics in forever. They're 40, they're 45, they're 50 years old, and all of a sudden now you're standing on your line, or you're drawing your line and saying, man, get the hell out of here. Don't let them people break you up like that. It ain't that serious. Let me tell you what happened to me. So my daughter came to me 2-3 days before election. She was like, hey, Dad, just want to let you know, I canceled your vote out. I voted for Trump. She voted for Kamala Harris. My daughter's an 18-year-old female in one of the top 10 universities in the country, and she has her priorities as an 18-year-old. She liked how she perceived Kamala Harris. She saw Kamala Harris already having served as Attorney General and Vice President, so she liked what she saw. And based on what's important to her at 18 years old as a single female in college, her choice was Kamala Harris. That's my daughter. I high-fived her, we hugged, we laughed. I said, good for you. Congratulations. Good for you. And she knows I voted for Trump. And we talked about it in great detail on why. On election night, she had to go back to college. On election night, we talked. She's like, okay, I'm good. I tried. I gave my best. Trump won. We got to move forward. And she just went on with her life. I am not letting no motherfucking politician, no Democrat, no Republican, I don't give a fuck who you are, come to me and my daughter me and my family, and especially if they're close or they're good friends or they're actual real friends, me and my friends. I would suggest you do the same.
If a friend of yours is willing to cut you off over politics without even first trying to understand where you're coming from, that person was never your friend in the first place. They never liked you for you. They liked you for who they wanted you to be. The stakes are so low in this situation. They have so little to lose by trying to engage with you and actually trying to understand where you're coming from. So if they're willing to cut you off over this, just think of how disloyal they would be in a situation where they would actually have to make a material sacrifice to stand up for you. They wouldn't. So basically, anybody you lose by being open about your politics is someone who wasn't meant for you in the first place. Those types of people are liabilities, not assets. Ultimately, you will probably lose people, but those people are not compatible with you living a life that is true to yourself and your values. The people who are meant to stay will stay, and the people who are meant to leave will leave, and you will probably lose people. But one of my favorite quotes is that there is no price too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself.
If you have lost quote unquote friends due to your political beliefs, then, well, were they truly friends to begin with? Now, this may not be an easy thing to hear, but it is necessary to understand. If an individual is only able to love you based upon your aligned beliefs, if they can only tolerate your presence so long as you are in complete agreement with what they believe, they are not your friend. I don't care how long they've been around. I don't care what you may have gone through in the past. If that individual is too immature to have a reciprocity of love, regardless of what the belief systems may be of either individual, there is no friendship there. True and genuine friendship is based off of the goodwill of one another. You hold the best regard for the other no matter what. And so if you find yourself in a place where you are losing these so-called friends, I promise you this is a blessing, oftentimes in disguise, but you are finally getting to see the true colors of the people around you. And in this life, the people you surround yourself with are going to be the greatest impactors of the trajectory of your life. So if you're surrounded by people who are filled with hate in their heart, that's going to be the trajectory that you will be pulled towards. But instead of those people are shed from your life, this is a blessing that will allow you to purify where you stand and to move in direct alignment with the things that are absolutely best for you, the things that you are called to do from the spirit and into the flesh. And so if you are that person right now sitting at home feeling lonely, thinking to yourself, when is this person going to come back? They may have very well been a seasonal character in your life, and that's okay.